Jane Velez-Mitchell here for The Fix, and here's a question. Some states like Ohio and Kentucky have laws that empower addicts' families to force their loved ones to go to rehab. Is this a good idea? I think it depends, obviously, on the family and the individual involved. It could backfire. There could be such a resentment that the addict has against his family that he or she will do anything to enrage the family further or to exhibit defiance. Defiance is a hallmark of addiction. But I think it can be a good thing. For example, when people get pulled over for DUIs, sometimes their penalty is to go to a 12-step meeting and they have to get their court card signed. So that has been known to bring a lot of people to sobriety. A lot of people say, hey, I was dragged here by the courts and now I've gotten it and I'm really happy that I've gotten sober. But one thing about addiction is clear. It's only the addict, him or herself, who can ultimately say, I'm going to get sober. You can force them into a situation where everything is set up for sobriety. And if they're not hitting their bottom and they don't get it, and that light bulb doesn't go off, they're not going to get sober. So it really is a very, very frustrating dilemma for families. What families need to do is they need to go and get help themselves, and they need to make sure they're not being codependent enablers, because what enablers do is they masquerade as being the good people, but essentially they're co-signing the bad behavior and enabling it to continue. And sometimes when you realize, oh, I'm being codependent, and you stop that behavior, you cut off that umbilical cord that enables the addict to go out and do terrible things and not pay the consequences. And the irony is that sometimes when the codependent gets help, that's precisely when the addict decides, I may not be able to afford to do this any longer because my safety net is gone. So addiction is a complex problem. But at the end of the day, there is a simple solution for some very complicated people called addicts, and that is sobriety. Just don't do it. Don't drink and drug one day at a time. I'm Jane Velez-Mitchell, and I'm the author of Addict Nation. And you can check out my show weeknights on HLN, 7 p.m. Eastern.